Hello everyone, I am Amalraj, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science for Women, Hosur. In this video, we are going to see about classes and objects in C++. So let's get started. Class. In C++, class is like a blueprint for an object. A class is a collection of data members and member functions. A class is a way to bind the data and its associated functions together. It is a user-defined data types that has data members and member functions. C++ allows the data and functions into a single unit that is called class. This is the syntax for class declaration, class name, and declaration of private variables and functions. After that, declaration of public variables and functions. Here is the explanation of the syntax of class declaration. The keyword class is used to declare the class and followed by the class name. The body of the class is enclosed within braces and terminated by a semicolon. The class body contains the declaration of variables, that is data members, and functions, that is member functions. These functions and variables are called members of the class. The members of the class are grouped under two sections. One is private and the second one is public. These public and private keywords are called as access specifiers. The use of private is optional. By default, the members of the class are private only. The members that have been declared as private means that can be accessed only within the class. If the members are declared as public means that members can be accessed outside the class also. Here is an example for class declaration. We are creating one class called employee. In that class, we are declaring two data members in private mode. That members are EID and salary, and two member functions get data and put data, that is in public access specifier. And the class ends with semicolon. Objects. When a class is defined, only the specification for the object is defined. No memory is allocated. To use the data and access functions defined in the class, you need to create objects. This is the syntax for creating objects in C++. There are two ways to create objects in C++. One is create only one object and the second one is create multiple objects. For creating only one object, we have to use class name and object name. For creating multiple objects, we have to use class name, object name 1, object name 2, and etc. We can create the objects at the time of class declaration itself. That is, objects can also be created when the class is declared by placing their names immediately after the closing brace as follows. So here class name and data member declaration, member functions declarations. After that, before the end of the class, we have to create the objects. And this is the example for creating objects in the time of declaration of class. Here employee is the class, EID and salary are the data members of the class employee, and E1, E2 and E3 are the objects which are created at the time of declaration of the class employee. Defining member functions. As we know, class contains data members and member functions. We will declare member functions inside the class, but we have to define the member functions either inside the class or outside the class. That is, member functions can be defined in two places. One is outside the class and the second one is inside the class. Now we can see how to define a member function outside the class. To define the member function outside the class, we will use the class name followed by scope resolution operator and followed by the function name. So this is the syntax for defining a member function outside the class. Return type, class name, scope resolution operator, function name and the parameter list and body of the function. The membership label class name, scope resolution operator tell the compiler that the function name belongs to the class name. That means the specified function belongs to specified class. And this is the example for defining a member function outside the class. So here we are using the return type as void and the class name is employee, scope resolution operator, function name is getData and the parameter is A and B. So here in the function body we are assigning the value of A to EID and B to salary. So at this example we are telling that getData function belongs to the class employee. Now we can see how we are going to define our member function inside the class. Here is an example. In this example, we are creating one class called employee. In that class, we are creating two variables EID and salary. After that, we are creating one member function called getData. That getData is having a return type void and it has the parameters A and B. Inside the function body, we are assigning a value of A to EID and B to salary. So after that, we are closing the function and closing the class. So in this example, we are telling that function getData is defined inside the class employee. Accessing member functions. Once the member functions are defined, we can access that member functions with the help of dot operator. This is the syntax for accessing a member function, that is object name dot function name with argument list. And here is an example, e1 dot get data of 10, 20,000. In the above example, we are calling getData function using an object e1 with the two arguments 10 and 20,000. Now it's time for the small assessment on the topic classes and objects in C++. Go ahead and tackle these two MCQs and post your answers in the comments. Thank you all.